This is the second of 3 video lessons on the triangle inequality theorem. We're going to determine the possible range for the third side of a triangle. So what we're going to do this is we're going to find the difference and the sum of the two sides given. So we're going to find the difference and the sum of the two sides given. And our third side is going to fall between them. It will not be equal, the sum or the difference. Okay, so let's look at some examples of that. So I always write a minus and a plus, and then I set up my sum and my difference. So 7 minus 4 and 7 plus 4. I get 7 minus 4 is 3, 7 plus 4 is 11, and x falls between those. So my answer is this whole range written just like this. Let's try another one. I subtract and I add. So 5 minus 5 and 5 plus 5. X is going to fall, or the third side is going to fall between them. A lot of times we represent that with x. So my answer is this range right here. And one last one. We get 8 minus 2 and 8 plus 2. And that third side falls between them, but it will not be equal to them. That's very important. So my third side of the triangle could not be 6. It could be 6.1, but it could not be 6. So if I had side lengths of 2 and 8, I could have a side length of 6.1. I could have a side length of 9.9, but I could not have a side length of either 6 or 10. So let's determine some ranges here. So I do my sum and my difference for each one. So 5 minus 3 is 2, and 5 plus 3 is 8, and that third side is going to fall between them. 8 minus 2 is 6, and 8 plus 2 is 10, and that third side is going to fall between them. 9 minus 4 is 5, and 9 plus 4 is 13, so the third side will be between 5 and 13. 7 minus 6 is 1, 7 plus 6 is 13, so my third side will be between 1 and 13. 11 minus 3 is 8, and 11 plus 3 is 14, so my third side will be between 8 and 14. 8 minus 8 is 0, 8 plus 8 is 16, so my third side will be somewhere between 0 and 16. And you're going to ask, how can you have 0 as a lower end or a lower bound? I'm not actually going to ever have a side length of 0 because I can't equal that number. So the smallest side length there would be like 0.1 or something like that. Very, very small side length, but it could still be a side length because it's not actually 0. And then 9 minus 1 is 8, and 9 plus 1 is 10. So the range of possible answers would be between 8 and 10. If you notice, I am getting no negative numbers. That is not coincidental. I am not subtracting in a way that would give me a negative number. So for example, on this one, I am not doing 4 minus 9 to get negative 5. I can't have a negative side length on a triangle, so I ignore that it could possibly be done that way. So there can be no negative side lengths. So I would have to do 9 minus 4 to get 5. So just keep that in mind. I can't get any negatives. Okay, so we have one more example on this one. It says a triangle has integral side lengths. Remember that integral just means it has integer sides. If two of those sides are 8 and 15, what are the largest and smallest possible perimeters? So the first thing I'm going to do is find the range of the third possible side. So I'm going to do my minus and my plus. I'm going to get 15 minus 8, and I'm going to do 15 plus 8. 15 minus 8 gives me 7, and 15 plus 8 gives me 23. The third side is going to be between those. We know that we have to have integer side lengths, and I know I'm not actually allowed to be equal to 7 or 23. So the smallest side length would be 8, and the largest possible side length would be 22. So now that I know those, I can calculate the smallest and the largest possible perimeters. So I know I'm going to have side lengths of 8, of 8, 15, and then I know my smallest side length is 8. So if I add those together, I'm going to get 31. So that's my smallest perimeter. My largest perimeter I'm going to again have side lengths of 8 and 15. Now I'm going to use my largest possible side of 22. And that would give me a largest possible perimeter of 45. So those are my smallest and my largest possible perimeters. This is the end of the second video for this lesson. If you have any questions on anything covered in this video, go back and rewatch it or ask your teacher in class.